If you're watching this video and it's loading slowly and you're in the United States, there is a reason why. The United States is now ranked 30th in broadband speeds, and we pay more than many other westernized nations. We've got some info for you. So US download speeds rank behind Iceland, Romania, Bulgaria, France, Russia, the UK, and many more. We also pay more, an average of $55 a month for broadband service, while countries with faster connections, like some of the ones I just mentioned, come in at about $45 a month. Hong Kong, which has the fastest internet speeds in the world, they pay about 40% less than we pay, about 31 bucks a month. I guess this shouldn't surprise us because it seems like most of our stuff in the United States is not working that well. Our infrastructure, now our broadband. Is it weird that we're not talking about this more? Because everything's online. The computer, it's all online. Shouldn't we be more concerned about our slow-ass internet?
What struck me is, what I'm curious about really after reading that article was how many of those countries, how much government investment was put in. Obviously, look, I get it, the government invested a lot in the internet to begin with. But to keep those speeds up to date, like is it all, do the businesses just do it themselves? Is that their motivation? Or is that government work to make sure, because there is a vested interest for business purposes, for every purpose, that for the government's use.
I'm pretty sure those guys get subsidies from the government, right?
Yeah, I would imagine that they do, and we're leaving it up pretty much to, near as I can tell, and I don't have all the information here, but we're leaving it up to Comcast, trying to merge with Time Warner, which will have so many customers, there's no incentive for them to update it and make sure that we move into the top 5 or top 10, because when you have however many customers they're about to have, 120 million, whatever it is, if this merger is allowed to go through, they'll control half the country's high-speed internet, and they'll be like, what do we need? They're all paying $55 a month. We don't know what to do with all this money.
Right, so to your point, it's only getting worse. The Time Warner Comcast thing is only going to make this worse. And what was the one this week? DirecTV and AT&T? So that even, right, am I right? Did I just make that up? I don't think I made that up.
No, you did not make that up.
So it's only going to get worse because they have no interest, because there's so little competition.
Well, I think Teddy Roosevelt taught us that huge monopolies are a good thing.
He did.
They help your economy. They help the general public. Everybody gets to get a piece of the pie when one person owns everything.
Yeah.
Isn't that? And by the way, we got to stop calling it broadband. It's 2014. It's woman band. Okay. I don't know why we keep doing that.
Sorry. I know.
No, but with a Y. Spelled with a Y.
Yeah, with a Y. Yeah. So the last merger that they didn't approve, the federal government, was when. What was it? Not Sprint, but what's the other one? Wanted to be taken over by. Anyway, they did not let one of those mergers go by, which I couldn't believe.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Because here's what, if the merger doesn't benefit the consumers, they're not supposed to let it happen. You're not supposed to let a merger happen because it benefits the company, but not the consumers. And that's what happens. So we're going to get less choice, right, when this merger happens. We're going to get less choice, we're going to get poorer service, we're going to get higher prices. Yet they're going to let this go through because we live in a banana republic. Not technically banana, but I like to misuse that term to mean corrupt.
You're close enough. What happened to USA #1? Are we #1 in anything anymore?
Were we #1 then? Right now, I mean, we said it.
But we said it.
We are #1 in bankruptcies attributed to medical care. We are #1, I think, in the industrialized world in infant mortality. So we've got a lot of #1s.
So we've got a couple.
We're just switching. #1 in gun deaths. #1 in gun deaths. We got a lot of those #1s.
But back in the day, in those things, were there any that really? I guess at one point we must have had the #1 growing economy in the world.
We certainly had the #1 growing economy in the world, and we're #1 in war. They used to say about the Washington Senators before they left town. Washington was first in war, first in peace, last in the American League. And but now we're not even a first in peace. I mean, no one would argue that with a straight face. I worry about that something like the internet, the way that again, it just feels like that us maintaining elite internet speeds and status, like that requires government intervention somehow. I'm not saying they have to pay to it, but then they have to subsidize it. They have to spur. Well, they would have to tell Comcast, hey, you have to if we're going to allow this merger, here's the deal. By 2022, we're 6th in the world. Make that happen, or whatever it is. Get the speed up to whatever it needs to be.
Yeah. Does the government, in a weird way, have a vested interest in our internet not being that good?
No, I think
that we won't have access to information as easily.
Well, I think who benefits. So what I think should be happening is that the municipality should be making internet available to everyone for free, right? Because they've done studies and they figured out that the places that do that, it actually helps everyone's business. If you're able to access Wi-Fi, no matter where you are inside of a city, business goes up, productivity goes up, tax revenue goes up. So it pays for itself. It's one of those things that helps kids get educated. Kids can get on the internet whenever they want, at school, at home, on the bus, no matter what. So so they could have Wi-Fi. So that's what of course, that's what we should be doing. Just like universal healthcare, we should have universal Wi-Fi and internet access, because that helps everybody. It rises everyone. But of course we won't, because there's money in a select few people and keeping it the way it is.
So speaking of those select few people, so we've been doing stories on net neutrality. So net neutrality got flipped. It was by an FCC appointed guy that was an Obama campaign bundler who also worked in the telecom lobbyist, as a telecom lobbyist. So between this story and net neutrality, is the internet as we know it really on shaky ground right now? Like, are we in our last
Our democracy's on shaky ground right now. We don't really live in a democracy that's where our leaders are responsive to the people that they are voting for them, the voters. They're only responsible to the donor class. We say it all the time. And what happens when, look at the gun control, right? We talk about it all. 90% of the people wanted background checks. We didn't get it. What do you call that? What kind of government do we have? This isn't a democracy anymore. This is government by the few, for the few, and of the few.
Bring us home.
Well, that was pretty effective, bringing us home. I don't think with let's bring it. Let's take a nice broad finish and make it much narrower, because that's what we like to do on television. Sorry. The net neutrality debate is not over. That's the good news. It's important to keep talking about it. I'm not saying that we should be dismissed, but the FCC commissioners seem open to we're in the public debate period, to hearing about it, to sort of hearing, and so. I don't know. I'm always a little optimistic. I know you think that's ridiculous, but it's not.
In this case, I'm not with you.
It's not signed and sealed yet, and part of it is that we talk about it and say that it needs to be preserved.